Hey there, what's up? Welcome to Learn It Like Aliens. My name is Sunny Bhanushali and I'm so glad to have you on board. This video is a small part of the whole. I'm sharing this video with you guys so that you can get started with this program. The aim of this program is to help you get better at your tattoo art skills. In this video, I'm going to talk about my shading techniques and how I render any kind of black and gray realistic tattoo. I'm using a combination of Cheyenne Thunder and Cheyenne Spirit to do this work. I use mostly Cheyenne Spirit to do all my fine and soft shading work, and I use Thunder to do bold linings and color filling, color packing. I use mostly Cheyenne Thunder. I have used many other machines before, but I love Cheyenne machines. I love German technology. These machines are so light, easy, powerful, and Cheyenne Thunder is the most versatile machine you will ever find on earth. So let's get started here. I'm using a 15 Curved Magnum. Some call it round Magnum. If you're using a Cheyenne cartridge, then they call it soft edge. So this is 15 Magnum soft edge. So as you can see, I'm using a Cheyenne power supply, and the number which is there on the display is 100, and that is in hertz, so it is 100 hertz. So if you convert it into volts, it should be approximately 9 volts. So if you're not using a Cheyenne power supply, or if you have any power supply which shows a power in volts, so it is approximately 9. This is the lowest speed I use, so this is a starting point for me. I normally go higher from here. So if I'm using a Thunder, or if I'm using I'm doing a color packing or dark shading, I would definitely go and pump up the power supply to 11 or 12. It depends on the artist. Every artist is different and they have their own style, and they choose the speed of the machine based on the style. So I know few artists who run the machines on 7, 8, and they're really great artists who really love to work with slow machines and slow speed. But I'm not one of them. I like fast machines in a way. So this is kind of low power for me. From here on, I normally pump up based on the requirement. I have shot this video on GoPro especially so that you can see my setup, you can see my table, and also get a feel of how it is done. I use eternal colors, and here what I'm using as black is eternal black. I make shades of the eternal black color. I mostly dilute it with the sterile water. So as you can see on my table, I have the first row. All of them are black shades. So the first one from the right, it is full black, 100% black, and the next one is 3 drops, you can say 30 to 40% black. Following one is 2 drops, again around 10 to 20% black. Last one is 1 drop. The second last one is 1 drop, and the last one is sterile water. This is a bit of a close-up shot. As I said, I've shot this on GoPro, it's on my head, so there's a lot of movement here. But the camera, which is on stand, which is stable, which doesn't move, we do close-up shots on them so that you get a very clear, clean picture of what exactly is happening. But I'll try my best to explain what exactly I'm doing. I have picked up full black and I have dipped the needle in 40% black, because I think I'm gonna push a little dark area there where I'm working. I'm using the corner of the Magnum needle, so I'm just tilting the machine a bit so that I can use the corner of it so that I can work in the tight areas. And wherever I have to go flat, so I don't tilt the machine, and I can go really smooth and light on skin. So how I work is I do work with I play with the pressure I put on the skin. So even if I'm taking full black, and if I can manage to put a little less pressure, I get different shades of black and not like full black. So I do use, most of the time I use full black and the next cap, which is approximately 40% black, to do all kinds of shading. So mostly the shading is done with the first two caps, and rest of the shades are created by controlling the pressure on skin. So deeper the black I want, I will push the machine a little more inside the skin, so the pressure is high. Whenever I need a lighter shade, I will just release the pressure. I'll be really soft on skin. So that's how I work. Currently I'm working on a very tight area where technically the 15 Magnum is a little bigger for that area, but it is not. You can use the corner of the needle. You can tilt the needle and use the area so that it can flow in the tighter area as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not using a complete flat surface there. I'm tilting the machine. I'm using it in an angle so that the surface area, which is touching to the skin, is less, is not like a full face of the needle. This is explained in a better way in different videos, as this is a video just to get you started, just to give you an idea that how this program is going to be and how it can be really helpful to you. Again, I'm using angled orientation of the needle, so I'm not going straight flat. I'm using the other way the needle so that I can really I can manage to get a bold thick line there. Well, I've changed the machine here, so now I'm using a Thunder with 7 round shader. Because I feel this line is needs to be really thin, and I might not have enough control using a Magnum, so I don't just play with it, because that's a really important part on the face. I'm working on the nose, so I don't want to take risks, so I just went on to Thunder. So I do shading with liners, round shaders and magnums, so I can use any needle to create any kind of shading. A lot of my videos in the list where I have used only liners to do the whole thing. So I have worked on many portraits where I have just used the liner. So it's very interesting technique you can use. You can really go like super realistic, and you can create hyper-realistic textures on face using liners. So for me, wherever I have to work, wherever there is a tight area or wherever there is a texture, I would use liners or round shaders. And wherever I have to create really soft shades on a bigger area, like a bigger skin surface, I will use magnums. So I'm working on that really tight negative space which is kind of a shine, kind of a highlight next to the nose. It has to be precise, clean, and enough white space so that it heals properly. That's why I didn't do it using Magnum. I didn't use the corner of the Magnum to do this. I would prefer using either liner or a round shader to do this. There are artists who can do this kind of tight work using a Magnum, and they just, I mean, they're so good with using Magnums. I'm not that efficient to use a Magnum to do this kind of work, what you see on screen right now. That's why I'm using a round shader. I use a lot of A&D, as you can see. My piece stays clean. My tissue is clean always. I mean, I use a tissue which is not very expensive as such, but I prefer this kind of tissues where I can wipe it and throw. I can use it to wipe like twice or thrice, and then I can throw it and get a new one. I don't like to have those tissues where I can use one piece for hours. I don't do that. So these tissues are really soft on skin, so there is no rash or no damage happening to skin because of the tissues. A lot of A&D I use. I don't use Vaseline or any other ointment or petroleum jelly. I love A&D and I stick to it. So it's very easy to keep the tattoo clean by using a lot of A&D, and it also keeps the skin kind of soft and nice, and it becomes receivable, so the ink flow is really smooth if you're using A&D. By the way, I'm not promoting any of the product on this video. It's just what I use, and I'm not been paid to promote Cheyenne or Eternal or A&D or any other product I mentioned. That's not the case. It's just these products are really good, and I recommend this. That's it. There is no profit involved to show this up on this video. So there is a lot of movement in the video because as I'm working on eyes, I need to make sure that they are perfectly done. And as you can see in this video, I have an iPad attached, and mostly I use iPad to see the reference image. The image which is behind the hand, it's just to see the stencil, so that I don't get confused with the stencil lines. But for reference, I always use iPad. That is the best way, I think, to go for. If you want to invest in something, it has to be an iPad because it is very handy to carry. It is very easy to sketch, to draw something on it. It is the best thing to create stencils on. I mean, for me, I make all my stencils on iPad. So once I have it on iPad, I just have to take a print in Brothers, like a stencil machine, and it works like wonders for me. So it's a really good investment to have a good iPad Pro where you can use a pencil. You have a pencil and a keyboard. If you like journaling, then keyboard is the best thing you can go for with an iPad. I love journaling, so I write a lot when I'm not working. As I'm using a round shader, it is giving me It's kind of an extension for me. I mean, I can go really tight, I can go really in those small areas and have a controlled texture or a shade without worrying about anything else. It is more like you're using a pencil. I'm presuming that this technique, what you see on screen, is new for you, because when I was learning, I have seen a lot of videos online. I've read a lot of tattoo books, and that's how I learned. So I've not taken any professional training in tattooing, or I've not worked with any artist, or have not worked in any studio yet. I have my own studio. I'm quite well known for my work, especially work on realism. So I've seen a lot of videos. I've been following a lot of artists. I mean, I'm talking about the old artists. I mean, when I started, I'm talking about like going back 10 years, 8 years at least. So back then, I did not see anybody using this technique. I saw this way of working in one of my favorite artists, Anil Gupta. So he's from New York, and he used liners to do the whole portrait, and that was really, really exciting and very surprising to see that you can use a 3-liner to create a really, really soft shade. And he did it very easily, and from there I picked up that part that you can use liners and round shaders to do shading, and I practiced a lot till I got a proper control over my hand and the way I go with the liners, and I can create a really soft gradient using liners, which will look like I've used a Magnum instead. So you're going to learn this technique in this program, and how easy it is to use with proper guidance. If you don't have right guidance, you may mess up with the skin, because in a way, for the people who don't have much knowledge about how to use liners for shading, it becomes really a task. It is very difficult in that case. With proper guidance, it is very easy, very, very easy. You will master this technique in maybe less than 3 months. Yeah, 3 months is enough to master this technique, and you can use this technique in anything, any kind of piece you can do. This is not the only technique which you will learn in this program. There's a lot of it. So this is one of the techniques which I'm sharing here right now. All the big pieces which I work on, I mostly use magnums, the big magnums. So whenever I'm working on a back piece or a full sleeve, or a piece which does not have a lot of realism texture, which is made up of a lot of high contrast, soft shades, I tend to use Magnum. And with the Magnum, like I have discovered, I would say, or I have in a way invented few techniques which are really, really easy to use, and you tend to get the output like any good pro level tattoo artist, and they're really, really easy to learn. Anyone can learn those techniques. I see I have few artists working with me who are trained under me. They have spent less than 2 years in tattooing, and they are doing wonders with their work. One of them has got few awards at international conventions. He does guest spots outside India. Like this month he's traveling to London and Ireland to do some guest spots, and he has spent only 2 years of his life in tattooing. He had no artistic background. He has no artistic background. He just started as like he had an interest in tattooing. He just did a course with us. He joined my training institute, and then now he's doing great. So because I have a passion of teaching, I like mentoring, I tend to develop a system to teach where people can easily grasp the techniques, and kind of they are ready to use techniques which can just go and try a couple of times, get a hang of it, and then you can do real stuff with it. Like you can do real tattoos using those techniques, and they are pretty simple, very easy stuff to learn. So in this program, I'm gonna focus on a lot of techniques, a lot of do's and don'ts, and in future videos we plan to cover really advanced stuff where you learn a lot of designing techniques and how to go about designing a full sleeve and a full back. So we're not just limited to tattoo art. We are going to expand our reach. We are going to do a lot of tutorials on designing and how we manage our clients, and how we take the design brief in words and convert them into beautiful designs, which are like a kind of tailor-made to their body. So it's all coming in this program. Right now it's not there, it's in the process. We are working on a lot of new tutorials. I'm sure you liked this session. I'm sure that this video is a kind of experience you want to go for. This is, as I said, this is just a part of the whole. This is just the small part of the big picture, and this program will change your course of life. I mean, if you're really serious about being a pro-level tattoo artist, you need this program. I've made this available for really low cost, so the cost of this program is like nothing. Trust me, nothing. I've spent thousands of Indian rupees to buy like one DVD to explore basic techniques, and what I'm offering here is way more than that. So we are about to end this session right here. I would love to see you on board. I would love to see you becoming a part of our training program, this online training program. It is very simple. You can visit the link below and subscribe to this channel, and the subscription is a monthly subscription, so there is no catch here. You don't have to pay for the whole year. It's not an annual subscription, and the best part is you can opt out anytime. You can just stop the subscription anytime and you're free. That's not going to happen for sure, because once you get in this, you're gonna find really good information, and then you'll keep using this for months. That's my own experience. I have people subscribe to this channel from the entire world. So I know, I mean, for a start, to take a step ahead, it is a little difficult to trust, but you're not going to lose much if things are not right here. What you're going to lose is a very small amount which we charge for a month, but if it works, it will save years of time. You'll save months and years of time you might have to put to explore these techniques, these styles. I normally see that you save around maybe 3 years in the span of 10 years, which is quite a bit of time. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate that you have spared some time to watch this video, and as I said, I hope you find this video really informative and helpful, and I would love to see you on board. Take care. Bye.